There's two people from an organization that is doing amazing work in the community. Guys, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Thank you for having us today. My name is Faith Ndongo. I work with AIDS Healthcare Foundation Kenya, which is an organization which predominantly works around HIV work. So we have HIV treatment, HIV prevention, but also a lot of awareness campaigns, so that we don't assume that everyone knows about HIV and everyone has up-to-date information. So that's what we do in a nutshell. But as we are going to be discussing more, we'll tell you more about what we do as an organization.
All right.
Thank you so much and for this show and for giving us a chance. My name is Justin Mwenda. I work for AIDS Healthcare Foundation as a region prevention coordinator. So my work is mostly to look at the issues on prevention, and this is targeting general populations, youth, and other populations in general. As you know that the HIV is here with us, so we are AIDS Healthcare Foundation is normally keen on prevention, because we don't want new infections. So our strategy is working. There's various months we work about the prevention issues. So I'm coordinating the programs in Nairobi and Central in terms of the prevention activities for HIV.
All right, speaking of sensitization, the Dunda Yangu event, which is what you're here about, is something you're using to sensitize people about youth and let people, about AIDS, and let them know what to do, what not to do and stuff like that. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Dunda Yangu is one of the platforms that we use. This is our second year. So what we did was, over the years, around for almost like 4 or 5 years now, we've been battling with what, and I'm happy that the group which was before us was discussing about being trapped in their 20s. And we've always had this discussion. Every generation will talk about people don't understand us when we are young. And so we in the HIV sector also realized that there's a gap between when it comes to HIV. There's a population which has increasingly high infections, which is the young people. And for us, we asked ourselves then, how do we reach the young people? Speak with the young people using a language which is what they understand best.
Understandable to them.
And so that's why we came up with having a dance competition in informal settlements, because we also realized that it's easier to go where you find that you can easily access. It's easy to have events in schools. It's easy to have events in public places which are easily accessible. But going to the informal settlements, we at times forget those populations. So for us in Dunda Yangu, we decided deliberately, one, to target young people, so that we see how do we prevent new infections, new HIV infections among the young people. But at the same time, also see how do we deal with HIV-related stigma, also among the same population. And we said, when you look at the population of Nairobi, it said more than 60% of people in Nairobi live in informal settlements. So we said we will go where the people are. And that's why we started Dunda Yangu last year. We reached about 4,000 people in different places in Nairobi. Three informal settlements, Kibera, Mathare, and Mukuru. This year we're in also 3 informal settlements, Mukuru, Mathare, and Dagoretti, since the 1st of September. Throughout nearly every weekend in September, we've been going out to pass on health information, but also offer services. So we've had people coming in for HIV testing. We've had, interesting enough, we entered with an angle of HIV, but we realized that the young people need more information than just HIV. So we've passed on information beyond HIV to drug use and abuse, issues around mental health, issues around TB. And the reception has really been great because we've reached more than 6,000 people with health information.
Okay. Now, you see, for sensitization, usually what has been happening is, you know, an organization or the government just they pitch a tent somewhere and then they knock door to door and stuff like that. That's what they've been using. What is the difference between that and what you're doing now? Do you feel like this has made a difference?
For sure, there's a lot that has happened. I'll give an example of what I've encountered, and also Justin can also chip in. So what we did, we realized that young people like fun things. So the street dance competition is a dance competition. But in the dance competition, then we have a break-in session where between the dances, then we have someone standing in the podium and speaking to people about health, a specific topic. And from that topic, then we get to ask the public questions. And now we gauge the reception and how people understand by how people respond to the questions. And for us, what really was, what has worked well, especially for this year, is when we see people coming out and they answer questions, but they also look for us later and they're like, you know, I want more information on 1, 2, 3. And also from the information, we see very many young people going for HIV testing. Many young people being curious to understand what is the HIV test, self-testing. So for me, that's an approach that I'm finding which is working, because we are not just bringing what they call boring, we are bringing the fun aspect they need, but we're also passing health information in that fun way, but ensuring also that people have the information by having quizzes within the sessions.
Right. Okay, Justin, do you feel like this has made a difference in your own experience?
Yeah, and maybe to also hand on what Faith was saying, because I know you're asking on like what strategy do you use that you feel is different. And as we are going, as my colleague was saying, we need to find strategies that are fitting the youth. And the reason why, maybe as I'm answering your question on the difference that we have made, it's because the approach, first of all, we used. The approach that you used about the testing and the mobilization was different. One thing, to reach the youths, you know, they may not get to the posters and the like. So we use the Facebook, we use WhatsApp, we use the Twitter. So we are able to reach many youths because you have to understand what is the mode. And then the other thing also, we use the groups, the dancers themselves.
Yeah, so maybe tell us just real quick, because of time, about the event where people can see this, and if someone wants to join, what they can do if they want to be in the dance group.
So today is the finals for the Dunda Yangu Base Yangu Season 2. Hopefully we'll have Season 3 next year. So for this year, we are having the finals today. We are having 6 dance groups coming into battle for the Dunda Yangu Base Yangu champions. And so we have 2 groups from Mathare, 2 from Mukuru, 2 from Dagoretti. We are going to be at Sarakasi Dome from 11 a.m. today. So we're inviting everyone in Nairobi to join us, to have the fun, celebrate talents which may not have been recognized before, and also, most importantly, get information that we may not have. You may think that you have adequate information on HIV, but you'll be so surprised when you realize that science has moved on, things are changing. We have many different strategies and interventions that we are providing a platform for people to know more around this. And also people can join in and the conversations on our social media platforms. AHF Kenya or AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and even the National AIDS Control Council. We can look at all these platforms and there's a lot of information. And so what we encourage in many young people, because our focus for Dunda Yangu Base Yangu is young people, is for them to be curious and get to understand more about health and HIV, and also to seek health services, especially knowing the HIV status. And I'll encourage them to go into our social media platforms, ask questions, probe more, because that also keeps us on our toes to ensure that we also package information which is relevant for them.
And shocking revelation also, because youths have been sharing their experiences, and we have found youths coming in and sharing about even drug abuse. Some of them have left the drug issue, and that is something that also is in the platform about the youth that have been sharing the experience. That's a good experience.
Thank you so much, guys, for the good work you're doing.